Dog, if y'all ain't heard about Anchor, that's how I'm doing this podcast right now. Let me explain it. First of all, it's free. There's creation tools that help you, like, with the music and transitions and all of that. They'll distribute your podcast for you on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all stuff like that. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. And it's like everything you need to make a podcast in one place. It's like everything is there. Just go download. Welcome back to Closet Talk with J Kitty. Of course, my baby is in this one too. Like I said,
y'all.
she gonna be in basically pretty much all of them. Unless I'm doing an interview, she gonna be in all of them. So, anyways, I know I said I was gonna do an interactive episode regarding the last episode, but I've been contacted by a few people from different countries lately regarding my podcast. You know, just their interest or whatever in my podcast, and that sparked my interest in wanting to know how it is in their country. So today we're gonna listen to gay women in different countries around the world, like Haiti. We have one in Germany, Ireland, shit like that. You know, their experiences in their country versus how it is here in the United States. So let's get into it. Okay, so first, since I'm from the United States or whatever, I'ma, explain how it is for me here being gay. Honestly, I think I'm pretty much in tune with myself, so it's pretty much I don't really care about other people's opinions. I have experienced, like, I guess I wouldn't say homophobia, but like some weird ass shit. Like, me and my girlfriend, we was in a store and we was holding hands or whatever, and like this lady and her son was recording us, and I could see them. They was trying to like hold their phone to where I couldn't see it, and it just pissed me off because it's like, what the fuck? That shit weird. Then like people holding hands and you want to record them. That's just weird. So, yeah. I mean, it's still not, I guess you could say, as normal as people be making it seem. Like in the United States, it's just like, oh yeah, that's where you want to be. If you want to be gay, like go to, no, it's, I mean, you're gonna still experience some weird ass people doing weird ass shit towards you. As far as in the job place, I'm mass presenting and I dress how I want to dress. Like, I dress the same way I do outside of work as I do inside of work. Nobody really, and I used to work with kids. Like, I used to work in a daycare. Now I work in medical, but I used to work at a daycare, and the parents didn't treat me no kind of way, being around their children and shit, because I was gay. It was just like, that's their teacher, like, right. It's just like, there wasn't nothing different.
They didn't think nothing into it, like.
Right.
Yeah. So for me, I have to say, I don't think I've ever really experienced homophobia. Like you said, that one incident, that was really weird, because it's like,
what the fuck are y'all
right.
doing?
I
really
like,
wanted
you
to slap
act like
the shit
you've
out.
never seen like two women holding hands before, or like showing each other affection in public, and so it was more annoying than anything. It didn't really affect me.
Right, because it's like, if it's a man and a woman, would you be recording? Like,
right?
What's the? I just think that's weird.
Right.
But
other than that, I've heard those ignorant, like, oh, you too pretty to be gay, or you too pretty to like girls, and it's like, what does that even mean? Like,
men actually love gay women, though, here in the United States. I ain't gonna lie.
That's true.
Like, they love that shit. They just...
It's a fetish.
And for something, I hate that, but it is. Like, I love it more than I hate it, because I know in other countries, some men don't like that shit. But here, it's pretty much accepted, fetishized, all that. Yeah,
people mostly mind their business when we in public.
Yeah, so. Like, if anything, like, oh, y'all are so cute. Like, right. Like, fetishized, like, oh, we don't see that all the time, but y'all look really cute together. I'm glad y'all loving each other type shit. Like, I don't really experience much hate, like, pretty much at all. Yeah, I love that. I really enjoy that, because I don't know how I would react.
How I would react.
Right, because I know I'm hot-headed. Like,
but I also know, like, I like me, like, you know, I cry before I like do
no,
anything.
I'm
'Cause,
gonna cry
like,
while I'm mad.
it's like I can't do nothing. Like,
No.
I can't hit you.
No, I'm finna hit you, and that's why I'm crying, because I know I'm finna get this assault charge. Like, and all you have to do is be minding your business.
And one of us got to be out of jail, so that's why I can't hit him.
And then again, I'm be crying because it's like, I can't be in.
Exactly.
I'm not built for jail. Who? Please give me a ticket in community service, because I cannot do jail. But too, on the flip side, like, although the U.S. put, like I said, they make it seem like this is the best place to be if you're in a minority group. Not all the time. Like,
No.
not all the time. Because, again, like I said, some people do just make it seem like it's not natural. Like, it's okay. It's just two people.
Right.
And we not in a zoo. We not animals in a cage that y'all just gotta look at when y'all see us. Right. Like, I just feel like when gay people see heterosexual people in public, like doing PDA or holding hands, we just keep walking because it's like, that's natural. It's life. People gonna love each other. People gonna be in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not disgusted.
Right. Like, and then too, I feel like most of the United States is a red state, like Republican as fuck, and not with the gay shit. A majority. I'll say majority.
Definitely.
And then you always we'll have our pride parades, you know, to celebrate and shit. It's always gonna be them people outside, like, Jesus saves, you're all going to hell, stuff like that. And my thing is, I feel like that shouldn't be freedom of speech. Like, you're harassing us.
Honestly, because it's like, go to your celebration. Why are you at my celebration?
Honestly, I feel like the United States put a little bit too much
focus.
Like, they a little bit too lenient with that freedom of speech shit. Because it's like, bro, at what point do you separate freedom of speech from harassment? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like, that shit, that's not what's up. And then it's like, the history of the fucking LGBT in the United States is crazy as fuck. Like,
crazy. I was mind blown when we were researching, like, all of these topics. Like, learning how the hate crimes act, it didn't come into effect until November 1995. Like, I was born in August 95, so it's like,
not even that. It's just recent. The fact that, like, the whole violent act control thing went into effect in 94, and that was the basically the whole if you get convicted of a crime and it's based off, you know,
a person's
race or religion, color, you know, shit like that. Like, if you did it because they were in that group, you would get a harder sentence. And it's like, the whole sexual orientation part of that wasn't implied. Like, it wasn't even
added in until
a fucking 95. Year later. Like, y'all did not acknowledge us as people. Like, what the fuck?
And the crazy part is, it didn't, like, actually become into law until 2009. I believe it was October 2009.
Yeah, and fucking Obama signed that shit. Right. Like, if it wasn't for Obama, it wouldn't be they wouldn't give a fuck about us. And I ain't saying he just the bomb ass president, but goddamn, thank you, Obama, thank you. Y'all favorite president, Mr. Clinton. Mr. Clinton signs in 1996, in September of 1996, he signed the Defense of Marriage Act. First of all, September of 96. I was born in December of 96. I'm 23.
I was a year old. That's crazy.
He signed, and that was basically banning the recognition of same-sex marriages. And, like, he defined it as marriage is a legal union between a man and a woman, a husband and a wife. Sir, first of all, go to hell.
Period.
Ain't no second of all, just go to hell. Because what? Like, I just feel like, as a president, you should have way more things to think about than what gay people doing in their life. Like, way more. Relax. And then, it's just the fact that in 2004, that's when the That's the first legal same-sex marriage
First
in the United States.
ever.
In 2004. It's 2020. That was only 16 years ago.
I remember what I was doing in 2004.
Right.
This.
Right. Like 16 years ago.
Well,
That wasn't long at all.
We also know gay marriage wasn't just legal until what? That was. I guess that was the first.
I mean, when Obama made it legal. I guess when he made it legal, I guess.
When he made it, that's what I mean, like worldwide, nationally.
Yeah, because that one was only in a. It was only a marriage in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Nope. Actually, it was in 2015, I think. Like, June 2015.
Yep. And then, back to your boy Bill Clinton. In 1993, he put the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy into place, which is prohibiting openly gay and lesbian Americans from serving in the military. And it also, they couldn't harass closeted homosexuals. And that act wasn't repealed until 2011.
I just feel like, go to fucking hell. I wouldn't want to serve this goddamn country anyways. If y'all didn't want to know who I was and I couldn't be who I was fully, I wouldn't want to serve this fucking country anyways.
Period.
Alright, so boom. My first story is going to be from a queer woman in South Africa.
Hello guys, my name is Shonepo and I'm from South Africa. Welcome to Closer Talk with J Kitty. J Kitty, thank you so much for featuring me on your podcast. So I'm just going to explain to you guys what is really happening regarding the LGBTIQ plus H community here in South Africa. I won't say much because it's not really much happening, but a lot is happening. From coming out of the closet to marriage, the law regarding like same gender marriage, to the society, because here in South Africa, each and every one of us have the freedom to be who and what we choose to be, but we still have a lot of people, or I can say few people, who are still like stereotyped, who still lack knowledge with this LGBTIQ plus H community. But I can say that most of the people are supporting us. Most of the people are supporting us. You'll find that there are like straight people or parents marching with us there. By when we have a pride, you'll find like people supporting us. The SABC, the media, like a lot of people, the celebrities are like supporting us. It's not really much of a hassle being part of the LGBTIQ plus community. It's just that those few people that still don't have knowledge about. That's why we always like having pride. We always like doing workshops about this to let people know that we are here and we are here to stay. Regarding the marriage, the same-sex marriage, it's allowed. Yeah, it's legal, I think. Yeah, it's legal, actually. It's legal because I've seen a lot of same-sex marriages happening, going around social media. It's allowed. It's allowed. Everything is just so perfect. The problem is those people, like, we have, it's especially men. Men will make your life a living hell by, they will either murder you for being homosexual, or they will rape you. We call it corrective rape, that one. They will rape you or murder you, or like just treat you badly, And then we still have other parents. Like when their kids are coming out, they will chase them out, or they will arrange marriages for them, and it's not nice, man. It's not nice because you will feel like you love. Let's say you are a woman, and then you feel like you love other women. That's who you are, and then your parents will like be against that, and arranged marriage for you to marry a man. Imagine going through that. So that's kind of the things that we are facing here in South Africa. But other than that, we are free. We are free, and we are out. We are out and proud, and they know that we are here. We are here to stay. And we still have a lot of people coming out. Even those people who were married 10 years ago, they're divorcing their husbands, they're divorcing their wives because they want to be who they want to be. We have Somizi. Somizi is like that icon, He's out and about, he's proud. We are out and about and proud. We are there. It's not much of a hassle. It's just those few people, few stereotypes, stupid people who think they run this world or this country. It's not about that. We are here to stay. And yeah, that's all I can say. Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but I love her fucking energy.
Definitely love her energy.
She had me lit the whole time. Like,
From
we're here
the
to stay,
beginning.
period. Like,
From the beginning.
period. I love it. I love it. And now I know I can go to South Africa and just be in that bitch.
Right.
In that
Just
bitch.
chilling. Like,
Period. Do you hear me? Okay, so this next story is a queer woman in Kenya.
Hi, my name is Gaturi Kome. I am a 25-year-old queer woman in Nairobi, Kenya. I grew up in a small town called Isiolo. I grew up like any other child, any other kid, and my town is very tiny, so small that everyone knows everyone. So it was a warm place to grow up in. I realized I was attracted to women to girls, that is, very early, but I wasn't sure what it was. So basically, what I did was just flow with it. And me being a late bloomer and all kind of helped with my situation. So I didn't have like a hard time and stuff at school and all that. But where I grew up, there was no room for me to be different, despite me being a very inquisitive child, very curious, very liberal, very outspoken. There were parts of me I still felt like I should have kept hidden. And my hometown being so small, so religious, there's like 80% of the population back home is Muslim. I was raised Christian though, went to church. My folks made sure like I followed through and all that. And then reaching teenagehood, I was very rebellious. So at some point, my father found out about my sexuality and disowned me to the extent that they split with my mom, and he took my youngest brother with him and disowned me and my younger brother and cut us out of the family and our livelihood abruptly. So yeah. Immediately after high school, I came to Nairobi in 2014 for campus for university studies. Then that's when like I I was trying to find my footing. I'm a small town girl in a big city and I'm trying to find where I fit in all of this. So I went online and on Facebook actually, and put up a post like, are there any queer people? And I got into a successful WhatsApp group. I don't know if that's a success, but that from that WhatsApp group, I formed some really good relations, and I got a taste of what being queer was like. These were like people like me. I was so excited. I to finally like have people who are like me. That was half of what being queer meant for me. So as soon as I found out, I told my mom, and she was kind of okay with it, I guess. And my mom's sister, the youngest that is, she was like the rebellious one, the cool aunt, the one you could relate with. I guess 2018, she found out that I had a girlfriend and she raised hell. She threatened how I wasn't going to see heaven and how much of a sinner I am, how much of satanism I am, how I'm practicing satanism and stuff like that. And to me, that came as a surprise. I was like, dude, I've watched you be you. So that was like, I was totally blindsided. I wouldn't like expect my favorite aunt to have that reaction. While my mother was cool with it, actually, I told her and she kept it to herself for so long. For the longest time, immediately I found out, I let my mom know. In 2016, it is a guy I met off Tinder actually, and I wasn't. I've never like had a boyfriend all my life, so I didn't think there was a reason to get one and get intimate with. So before that, let me take you back a little bit. My uncle died. He passed on in 2016, sometime in August, and I don't know. In my grief, I figured like, dude, what if I died a virgin? You know, those thoughts cross your mind. So I got on Tinder, got me a date, and got got busy. I don't know. So okay, the sex was okay, not the sex, the foreplay. But when it came to the sex part of it, like penetration and stuff, I never could follow through. I'm not sure if this is too TMI, so I'm sorry if it is. Um, and I was like, man, this can be it, dude. There's got to be more. There has to be something worth writing home about, like they make music about this stuff. This isn't it. So that's when I went on Facebook and asked in a like community group, a local gossip group, and I got the feedback I got. So on meeting community, it was nice, and that's where like at first my first girlfriend, we were okay, but personally I had my own internalized homophobia. I couldn't even say the name lesbian. I was like telling her we don't have to put that name tag on it. I'm not gay. All that routine denial. I did it with her, and I wish I knew better, but I was that person for her. And then my girlfriend by then was so out and owning her own truth and wanted more. So the moment it got serious, I ran away. I went back home. I moved my whole house back home to Isiolo. So it was kind of confusing. Like, why does this girl? I felt like she was moving too fast, and I felt pressured, so I went back home. But if I was being frank with myself, I did not know like the possibility of me being with a woman was could be realized. So I went back home, and then somewhere in between that, I came back to Nairobi again, and then I fell in love. I fell in love with a wonderful, wonderful masculine woman in 2018, and we had a wonderful 1.5 years. And in our journey, I found myself wanting more. So I started following up on the LGBT community in Kenya. So there's this law that states like it is a criminal offense for people of the same gender to have any sort of relations with each other. So being a queer woman in Kenya means I have to watch how I dress. I have to watch what kind of neighborhood I'm walking in. I have to watch not to like look into my partner's eyes in public, because you can't hide affection, even if I'm not holding your hand, you'll see it in my eyes and stuff like that. So I've learned to condition my body to only love on my partner in enclosed spaces, in the in the confinement of my bedroom walls. You get um there are neighborhoods in Nairobi where you can hold your partner's hand, and so long like you're not known, and they're maybe posh, because most posh neighborhoods people don't care. But if you're in downtown or in estates, you can't do that. You can't openly PDA with your person. Yeah, because it can get ugly real quick. So it wouldn't be the first time like crowds of a mob there it wouldn't be the first time someone has been mob justice, like mobbed, flogged in public, or beaten and stripped. You get like it can get really ugly really quick. So there's that. And personally, I've been lucky. Like, I do not drink for these same reasons, because I don't want to put myself in that situation where I'm incapacitated and an hetero person is in charge of me. I wouldn't be able to live with myself, because there's already trauma I'm dealing with from my childhood, you see. And I'm just about now getting over it. So I'm not about to reintroduce something else, because I'm not sure if I can survive it. As far as my family is concerned, my mother has her moments and she can be supportive, but I found out like with my peers, most of them in guess I was disowned by my dad. So for most queers and my friends, people get disowned, especially if you don't have like a livelihood, you live with your parents, they refuse to pay your fees for uni or high school, and there's that. I have an aunt who prays for me, you know, claims I'm possessed. Oh my god, like it's crazy. Like, and then there's the parents like my father who choose to disown you and throw you out. So, and then there are fathers who don't throw you out but give you shit going forward and beat you up and stuff like that, insult you, you're a disgrace, and such things. So, by the experience of some of us, most of us have decided like to stay in the closet. So, you find that queer people are only out with other queer people. As far as Kenya is concerned, there are no queers. And if there are, we're kind of hiding. Personally, I'm not hiding, but it took everything in me to come out. Like, I get the regular um, homophobic remarks, insults, name it, but I block. I don't give the time of day. I don't argue with homophobic people. And then where I live, online I'm out, but where I live, my community around here, no one knows about it because I would rather like a stranger like knew about my sexuality than someone I'm living with in the same flat because I don't need confrontation, like I'm not sure if I'm sure actually like I don't need to be confronted about my sexuality. That's one thing I am not that is not up for debate. So no, I'm not about to debate or if what I'm doing is right or wrong. And then the other thing is religion. Gosh, like religion is our number one crucifier. Like it, religion down here, literally, people worship religion more than family. You get so it feels for me. I'm not a Christian. I disown the whole thing. It feels like you're fighting battles that you will never win. It feels like my judgment has already been passed. It feels like my head is already on a stake. It feels like I can never do anything by religion. So I let go of the whole thing. And if there are laws like the repeal about decriminalization of gay people and LGBTI persons, religion has been our number one opposition. Sometime in May, I had a lover turn violent and she was threatening me, almost got physical, locked me in her house for 24 hours, close to 24 hours, and she just wouldn't let me go. She got verbally abusive, she got so violent, and I did not know what to do. So she threatened with arson, stabbing, rape, name it. somebody that will not hurt me. So I got out of that and stayed away from her as long as I could. And that morning when I left that place shattered, and remembering it gives me PTSD. So, and then I don't know, along like 2 weeks ago, I think I named her as my abuser on Facebook, and since I joked so much, most of my friends did not. Okay, my friends on my friend list did not believe me at first. They thought it was a joke, and then after a few moments, they got on board with the idea that that could have happened. But you see, when something like that happens, when your lover turns violent and decides to lay their hands on you, where do you go in a country where you don't exist? I did not want to be the lesbian daughter or the lesbian sister or the lesbian niece. I did not plan this. I just happened to be here at this time, and who do I tell about violations against my own body? Where do I take them? The most I can do is name them and maybe cry about them and beat myself up about it, but with a law that does not exist. Because if I by any chance went forward with it and reported her, we would both end up behind bars.
Damn, the fact that her daddy dead ass took her brother and dipped.
That is so heartbreaking.
I just feel like he didn't think about her, because it's like, if you left with my brother because of what I did, what you think my mama gonna think?
Gonna feel?
Look at me like, damn, you the reason our family fell apart. Like, you're not thinking about that trauma on top of me already dealing with being gay in a fucking country that will kill me for being this anyways.
Right, so it's just like, dang, like, dude, the internalized homophobia part makes sense, because it's like,
facts.
You feel like you letting your family down, you know?
Okay, boom. So this next one, she is a British, I don't even want to, black British Jamaican living in London. Like, her family Jamaican and shit. She black British. Her accent, I fucking love it. First of all, it's bomb as shit. This is more so of her coming out story, but it gives you an insight and a look at how it is to be a queer woman and be Jamaican.
Hi, my name is Robert. I'm 25 years old and I live in London, UK. In regards to the history of the LGBTQIA plus community, I'm not that clued up on it. I do remember in 2014 where officially gay marriage was legalized. But other than that, I'm not too clued up. I do remember, well, we have in July, we have obviously Pride, and then we have also Black Pride. You have the visuals, so I am Black British officially. So usually I've been to both, and I'm more comfortable at Black Pride. In regards to being gay and out and about on road, it's not actually that deep, to be honest. Like, you might get some stares, but for me on my own, I'm a femme, so it's not even nothing for me to concern myself with. Whereas obviously my girlfriend's more masculine presenting. Also, I should say, we don't, in London, in the UK in general, studs are just studs. We don't use the other word. It's a slur here, so they don't use it to represent themselves. So like, I know in America it's okay to say and use, but on average, no stud refers to themselves as the other word. Can't even say it. Also in London we have obviously the diasporas. So my family is from Jamaica, of Jamaican descent, although my dad was born here because my grandma came here in the Windrush when she was pregnant with him, so he was officially born here as well as the rest of my uncles. And my mum grew up in Jamaica, and then she came back here again when she was older. Technically, well, officially, I was actually born in Canada, but my mum came back with me when I was about 8, so I've been in London ever since. Yeah, Jamaicans aren't really with yeah, they started moving mad, I'm not gonna lie. I think officially I started seeing my girlfriend in 2018, and I already had been or figured out I was not into men at that time, and I was just going out and about minding my business, but questions, where's your man, rare. So I decided to come out. It did not go well. Not soon after I moved, I was living with my mom at the time because I'm not moving out, sorry, London house prices, I'm not about to do that to myself. But anyway, I was asked to leave. So at first I moved from my mom's to my dad's house. I was still seeing my girlfriend at the time. They were still moving mad, even my dad. Like at one time she couldn't even stand outside my front door. I remember I was sick, so I was off from work and off from uni, and I had tonsillitis, couldn't talk, couldn't do nothing. So she came to visit me, and this man was moving mad, and I'm like, what do you mean she can't, like, how's she supposed to ring the doorbell if she can't stand outside? So yeah, after that I wasn't really feeling them. I don't know if you can saw my language. I wasn't really messing with them too tough. So I think me and girlfriend were eventually when we were about 7 months in, I did stay with my dad for a while. I did try to manage it. But me and my dad had our own separate issues regardless why I wasn't really quick to move there in the first place, because before I did move to my dad, I was trying to move somewhere else. But again, London house prices, where my uni was, it wasn't gonna work. Or should I say rent prices, it wasn't working. So I tried to make it work. It didn't last long. I moved in my girlfriend, moved there ever since. Obviously, after I moved out from my dad, I wasn't really talking to my mum. When I moved out from my dad's, wasn't talking to him either for time. And I'm the only child, so they ended up fixing up anyway. Like, what could I do? I'm a big woman at that time, so they couldn't really tell me nothing. And I made that clear. I don't know if it's an only child thing or what, but I can go without direct interactions. So it was them. So once they saw that I was airing them and I wasn't really fucking with them no more, that's when we had a few discussions. I got invited to dinners and, debates. I think that's one of the things as well that kind of impacted the relationship, because my parents, for many years, I was the mediator. Oh, tell your mom I said this, tell your dad I said this, and all of a sudden they're chatting without me in between me. Like, I wasn't feeling it at all, and you want to get along to get up against me because I'm gay? Nah, not. I don't know who they thought they were, but we're cool now. My dad is more open than my mother, because really and truly he did not know what he was mad about. All the energy for what? She's at barbecues now, She didn't got invited to his family events. He's told his friends that I'm a lesbian, so we're cool. My mum is still a bit shaky. It's still a bit off, but I see her. My girlfriend can't come to my house. I remember I can't even really put a WhatsApp picture up because she has something to say. But it's for me and my girlfriend, it's not that deep. We get along. My girlfriend was more on me repairing a relationship with my family than I was, because I really could have. It was either for me. I didn't. They were, to me, no, they were even mad and I wasn't for it. So yeah, that was my coming out story. I came out to my friends probably a year or two before that. That went and my cousins. Like I mainly talk to my cousins on my dad's side, who are a bit younger than me. Fantastic. Didn't even have to really say anything. It was cool. I will say though, a bit after that, my cousins, those cousin and another cousin as well that came out to me, or they're more open about their sexuality, which I'm happy for them. They still aren't quite able to discuss it with their family, but I'm glad I was the one to help.
And this next story is going to be from a woman in Germany.
Hi, so my name is Megan and I'm from Germany, and I honestly don't know that much about the history of the LGBTQ plus community in Germany, but what I do know is that way back in time, like in very early times, it kind of went back and forth from homosexuality being a crime and then not being a crime. So there were points where it was an actual crime to be homosexual or to be part of the LGBTQ plus community, and then there were points where it was accepted. During World War II, it was a crime to be homosexual, and it was actually, if you get caught, you could actually be killed for that. But it was only a crime for men to be gay, but it was not a crime for girls to be lesbian during World War II. Yeah, and after that, I honestly think that the laws were there were no laws against it. There were only laws like that people that are part of the LGBTQ plus community are the same as people that are not. Surprisingly, it wasn't allowed to marry, like gay marriage wasn't allowed until 2017, I think, which is surprising because that's not even that long ago. But ever since 2001, it was basically allowed to go marry in another country and then come back, and it would be legally accepted. You just weren't allowed to marry in Germany. I was also really lucky with my friends and family about their views on the community, because my family, they never really knew what the LGBTQ plus community was until I kind of told them a little about it, because I actually had a trans best friend and then a gay best friend, and I would just talk to my family about it and kind of tell them what that community is. But I didn't come out to them yet at that point because I knew they weren't homophobic or anything like that. I was just scared that they would see me as something different or see me as just being gay. But they were never homophobic, neither were my friends. I had friends that stopped talking to me, but it wasn't a big deal. They never discriminated me or disrespected me. They stopped talking to me, and if they do that, then I don't need them in my life. But I myself I've never experienced homophobia, luckily. What I've noticed is, especially to my girlfriend is not from here, but when she came here to visit me, we've been to different countries together, and I noticed that actually we get the most people yelling stuff here where I live in Cologne, rather than when we were in Italy or in Prague. And I think we didn't really experience homophobia, but we'd had, especially boys or men, yelling some stuff that made us really uncomfortable. But besides that, I luckily haven't experienced any homophobia in school, at work, or my family, my friends. So I'm really, really lucky with that. Talking about school, the trans friends I had in school actually had completely different experiences, even though we were all on the same exact school and had the same teachers and the same principal. For example, my one friend, she would be allowed to use the girls' bathroom and the girls' locker room, and they would call her the name she wanted to be called. But then my other friend, they wouldn't allow him to use the bathroom, the boys' bathroom or the boys' locker room. And if he would even get in a lot of trouble. And they knew exactly what name he wanted to be called, but they would call him his birth name, that what it said on his ID, on purpose to make fun of him in front of everyone else in the class, stuff like that. And I don't think it is legally allowed. I think it is a crime to discriminate students. But yeah, they had completely different experiences. So yeah, as far as I know, Germany is really tolerant when it comes to laws, especially. The only thing I know that still isn't tolerant is church, like the church in general. But it is getting better. For example, I live in a very small village, and we have a church, and the priest that owns the church basically allows gay couples to have a ceremony in church when they're getting married. He does it in secret, but yeah, it is legally not allowed in church, but we have priests like him that do it in secret. Just, yeah, it is getting better, and we don't know, maybe the future is gonna change something about that too.
Shout out to that priest.
Definitely, we need more people like him
No cap, like
in the world.
I just feel like if somebody trying to get married, let them get married.
Like, just let people be happy, no matter whether you agree with it or not, you know, no matter how you feel about it.
Honestly, like, if it was flipped and the world was, like, opposite of what it is, and you were heterosexual in a world where being homosexual is normal, if you wanted to get married, wouldn't you want them to allow you to be in their church and get married? Like, what is me I will never understand what they got to do with the people in church.
Honestly,
like you don't
have to see me again.
Like, really, honestly, truly, we don't even have to do this in your church. Honestly, I don't have to do this in your church, but can you priest over it? Can you make it official, please? Right. Like, just I understand.
Officiate us and we good.
You don't condone it. I don't have to be in your church, but can you at least make this official type shit? So I fuck with him, whoever he is. When I come to Germany, I don't really go to church, but if I do, I'm gonna go to that church. Facts. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up because it's pretty long. But on our next episode, I'm gonna have Inner J. I don't know if y'all know her or not, but she's pretty Instagram famous or whatever. She's a part of the LGBT community, and she's on the other side of the world as well. We're gonna have a live Zoom interview with her, and it's gonna be uploaded so you guys can watch and or listen. Tune in, stay tuned, and thank y'all for listening.
Bye.